You know, my mama and my grandma and pretty much every person I've ever known always said, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. So before I say what I'm thinking this morning, I'm trying to think of something nice I could say about this whole over-testing of our children that is going on in the public schools. And I guess it's happening not just in North Carolina, but everywhere. And so the only nice thing I can say about it is my children were willing to go to bed on time last night, and they were willing to get up and eat breakfast this morning. And lucky for them, their mama was willing to cook a hot breakfast because they demanded protein. So rock on, children who have listened to their nutrition classes. But this is insane. It is insane that we think all children are alike. Why are we doing all this standardized testing? It hurts our kids. My kids had their stomachs hurting because they're going to have to go to school and take a test. They're worried about their teachers because their teachers are going to be paid based on whether or not the children get the right grade on a test. That is never going to measure what they've learned in all of the classroom experiences they've had this year, in the field trips. And hey, what about the social aspect? That's important too. When I came up, and it's not that long ago, seems to me that we learned a lot more when the teachers were allowed to teach and they weren't being told to teach children how to bubble in a test nonstop. There's no reason for children to be tested like this. And I think mainly in North Carolina, the problem is that our legislature hasn't had children in the public school in quite some time. Maybe they've got private school kids, or maybe they're just so old it's been forever since they had children. But I challenge every legislator, get your ass into a public school in Proctor. These schools not only have to wear my children out by making them take tests they don't need to take, they also need hundreds of volunteers from the community, because heaven forbid a teacher actually monitor their own classroom. And that makes me really mad, because I think our teachers are highly professional and they are fantastic at working with our children. Why in the world the state thinks they're not qualified to monitor their own classrooms is a disgrace. And I think our teachers ought to march themselves up to Raleigh and knock on doors just like I do for realtor issues. And I had said I wasn't going to run again, but this was the whole reason I ran the first time. Maybe I will, because this has to stop. In fact, there is a proposal in North Carolina to go to quarterly testing. If you go to quarterly testing, you are going to wind up making these children do nothing but test. And I say it again, children were not created to be the same. Not every child is going to succeed on a standardized test. In fact, I know plenty of kids that I graduated with that could never do well on a test in school, but they are highly successful now, because success in life has no relation to your ability to use a number 2 pencil and color in a circle on a test. And I saw the one comment that was made about the feds being the problem. I'd say the feds are a big part of the problem. The states are also part of the problem, but the bigger problem is you need to return the classrooms to the teachers. Let the administrators be actual administrators who aren't scared to death of federal and state government and red tape and all these threats about money getting pulled back from the schools. That just burns my biscuits to hear people like the Obama administration fussing about, we'll take your money away from the schools. Put your ass in the school. Your children aren't in the public schools. It's got to get fixed now. My children matter, your children matter, and they are more than a bubble on a sheet.